so today we are going to have another series of coffee with Ruth and Dick. So
this week we have McDonald, and this one tastes so much better than the last round.
Yeah, because our McDonald's over here in Kallang, right, has just revamped. So we decided today we're going to buy a Never Fail Us coffee from McCafe. And this McCafe, there is no drive-through, right? You have to drive in, you have to walk in, to queue, and then
scan the barcode. So right now, McDonald's is very serious. We need to do all kind of safety measure in order to get these 2 cups of coffee.
We haven't been eating McDonald's for a while because we wanted to go low carb. So when we go low carb, right, in McDonald's, there's no low carb things for us other than coffee. Okay, so without further ado,
I miss the burger.
Okay, so without further ado, maybe we can address some very common topics that we have gathered over the weekend. Because some common topics, some common questions that we have seen, and people came to our house, they discussed with us, they talked to us, and they wanted us to explain to them, to share with them what are our views for having this topic. Okay, so what is the topic that we are going to talk about today?
Usually, for most of the purchaser, they will ask us one very sensitive question.
Not sensitive lah, but a very common question, because they also in the loss, once you're in a dilemma, you don't know whether there's a few choices for you, right?
Whether to buy a new home, a brand new house from a developer, or to get a piece of land they rebuild themselves. So usually they'll ask for my comments. I will ask them back, sir, are you in construction line? If you know that they are in construction line, I just keep my mouth shut. That's it. If they are not in construction line, then I'll advise them better to get a new home from a developer. So much easier. Why? I share with them. First, to construct yourself, you must scout around for a piece of nice land to rebuild. Am I right to say that, Ruth?
Yeah. So in order for you to go and look a piece of land, sometimes it's not as easy.
It's a very tiring schedule.
Process, yeah.
And when you like that piece of land, you cannot make a decision on the spot.
Yeah.
Not like the developer.
Yeah.
They always have a check in the card. For you, or even me, we need to check with the bank.
And sometimes some land numbers is not very nice, but the piece of land plot is very cheap. Okay, so your dilemma, like 44.
Correct.
Would you buy 44?
No, I won't buy 44.
You buy 44,
correct.
but developers will buy.
The developer will buy because as long as it's affordable and they calculate the construction the profit margin is higher, they will just ignore the number.
For us, 44, probably we have to go and ask God, ask Geomancer, ask everybody, then we buy 44. So by then, it's already gone, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
So usually, this is the first major scenario before you construct. Second, you must find a reliable contractor. You must get a reliable architect. So the cost, you also must know that whether this contractor got car you or not, or no car you also must know. All this add into your stress when you start to rebuild your house.
Okay, so what are the number third point?
The third point is to buy a brand new house is always the best. That's what you see.
You see what you get.
Correct. The height of the ceiling, how high? 3.8.
Don't need to imagine.
Correct. Don't need to imagine. How many rooms, you also know. Whether toilet, you also know. Whether inside got lift or no lift.
And also, like, some people will be very particular about the stairway is left or right or in the middle. So this one is, you see what you get. You don't have to think about, it's already there. You like it, you like it. You don't like it, you just go next to another house, right? Correct. So that's why it's easier to buy a brand new, but you go in, you see, and you start to think of renovation, because renovation is so much easier.
So much easier. and whether have pool or no pool. If you want a pool, then this house cannot. You look for those houses with a pool. So easy.
So much hassle-free lah.
Correct.
Okay, what is the number 4 point?
The number 4 point is it's always faster to buy a new house rather than construct.
Yeah, especially when you have already discussed with the family, now there's time to buy a property. Then you go and scout. Then you think of construction, and that one will take about 1 year plus to finish, ready to move in. By then you'll be like so sick of it. You know, you're like the emotions for you to stay in a new house maybe is after a lot of trial and error, you probably dampen or you're very sick, very sian.
Correct.
But when you see a house that you like, straight away,
just place the deposit. Make the offer, place the deposit. That's it. The house is yours.
and then you just have to be very excited. Then just within about 3 months or even 4 months, you can get the key to the house.
Correct. And of course, lesser family conflicts when you buy a piece of land to rebuild yourself. Always remember that you and your wife, for the next 1 year, if you decided to rebuild yourself, the whole topic will be about the house.
哇塞
Siniseng, your wall siniseng.
Even toilet bowl, what brand would you want to buy?
The
Wow.
worst is the leaf. What brand you want to use?
Taiwan brand, China brand, European brand, or what you want to use? What trekking leaf or whatever leaf you want to do? Wow, difficult.
And the worst issue is the stairway. Whether this one you want to put cupboard or you want to paint white. All this take you the topic with your missus throughout the next 1 year.
And you start to think of like, wow, I think sometimes renovation itself is already very tiring. Not talking about the construction. The construction itself is even worse. Unless you really plan to do that for 1.5 years with the family members, or you are really in this line of construction and you really dream to do your own house, then it's a different story. But for me, I don't think so.
Correct. Dream is dream. Practical is practical. So I always tell my buyer or our buyer, what you see is what you get. I think it's so much better and easier. What for?
And also sometimes most developer will also give you a warranty, right? 1 year indemnity warranty.
Usually we will ask for a 12 months liability period. So everything we don't have to worry.
Correct. So I think with that, right, it has solved a lot of our queries or some understanding. We are exploring some negative. We are not trying to discourage you to rebuild your own house, but it's just like some of the buyers are not too sure whether to do a rebuilding because they do see the cost of developer buying the land, and they probably thought that they can buy the same land at a price.
You will never get the price that the developer is getting. Because they can make a decision very fast. You cannot.
You can only compare yourself by maybe doing more discount. For example, you buy the piece of land, you probably, after you rebuild the house, after all the hassle, you probably get a bit of discount comparing to some other houses of the similar size that you are buying. Probably get some discount when you calculate over there lah.
Usually the discount will be about 300,000. Usually, but I share with those buyers. 300,000 not worth for your stress, your blood pressure to go up during the process for 1.5 years.
And lately we have one of our customers who told us, right, he realized that at the back of the house, he didn't know that there's actually this piece of a drain.
Correct.
Or then he had to go through the PUB, people have to come and do it. Then he have to go through another cost of costing again.
3,000, 3,000, 3,000.
Correct.
Everything is
So
3,000.
cost So a lot of hidden costs that we would like to highlight on this part. Unless you know that your budget is able to stretch. If not, you really buy a brand new and then you
I think it's easier.
Yeah, easier.
Then you only settle with the interior designer.
And that client was a bit disappointed.
Correct.
后悔一点点。
他就讲, should listen to my advice from the start. Because he also asked me the same question before he bought that piece of land.
Yeah. So because it's like without doing surveying the piece of land under a surveyor, after you bought, you will not know whether is there a particular drain that you have to went through with a PUB, or there's a soil test needed to be done, and all these are extra costs to you. Okay, I think that's
I think that's
particular
all about
enough. Yeah,
We will
maybe.
continue. We will continue the different on the episode. The next episode. I think it's
We will share a little bit more about are you going to buy a piece of land? Okay, what are the pros and cons, or even rebuilding? Of course, there's some good points. Of course, there's good points as well. It's not that it's all bad points. It's just like we are catering, answering some of the questions that our buyers asked us during the viewing season. Okay, so we will see you in our next coffee session with Ruth and Dick. 开，香杯。
See you.